I'm Daniel Berlant in the Cal Fire Information Center with the fire situation report for Wednesday, October 28th, 2020. Nearly 5,000 firefighters continue to battle 22 wildfires in California. Red flag warnings that have been in place across the state have now been lifted, providing some relief in the weather conditions. We'll talk a little bit more about what we are experiencing and what we will see later in just a moment. Now, yesterday, firefighters responded to 23 new wildfires, and despite the red flag warning conditions and the strong winds, all of those fires were contained. So let's highlight some of the major fires that are burning. We'll start down in Orange County, where we have two major fires. Both of these are being managed in unified command between Orange County Fire Authority and CAL FIRE Incident Management 6. First, we'll start with the Blue Ridge Fire, which is burning along just north of the 91 freeway in the Chino Hills area, Yorba Linda area. This fire has burned just over 14,000 acres, and it is 16% contained. Now, yesterday there were extreme fire weather conditions that continued. Strong, gusty winds continuing to just push this fire further to the west. Gusts of even 30 to 50 miles an hour. Winds, though, overnight were much weaker. We're starting to slow down, and so firefighters were really able to take the advantage of the evening's conditions and build containment line. Now, there are evacuations that remain in effect in Yorba Linda, Chino Hills. Let's take a look at the evacuations according to Orange County Fire. This is at least as of this morning. There are evacuations in place in the Carbon Canyon area, again, Sleepy Hollow, as well as portions just north of the 91 freeway in the Yorba Linda area. Over in San Bernardino County, there's also evacuation. Sleepy Hollow, as I mentioned, is under an evacuation. So you can see here on these maps exactly where those areas, at least as of this morning, crews will continue to determine where evacuations can be lifted here in the near future. Switching over now to the Silverado Fire, also burning in Orange County. This is off of Santiago Canyon Road and Silverado Canyon Road in the Irvine area. As of this morning, the Silverado Fire, just over 13,000 acres. Good news is the fire is 25% contained. Now, fire behavior was moderate last night with minimal activity, especially as those red flag warning conditions ended. Weather conditions turned much more favorable. Now today, fire crews are continuing to reinforce existing control lines, and with those more favorable weathers, crews will continue to establish more containment lines around this fire. Now, there are still evacuation orders that remain in effect, especially in the Irvine area. You can see from this map which areas, at least as of Wednesday morning, are still under mandatory evacuations. This, again, is really along the 241 corridor in the community of Irvine. The other fire we've been looking at is the Point Fire up in Placer County. This is just east of Forest Hill. You can see Forest Hill over here. We'll zoom in a little closer and you can see the Point Fire very close to the Fork Fire, which is just on the other side of the Rubicon River, just east of it. The Point Fire, according to the U.S. Forest Service, is 94 acres and 10% contained. Now, as I mentioned, there are several other large wildfires, many of them burning now for several months. For the latest on these fires, as crews continue to make good progress, visit our website at fire.ca.gov. Now, seasonable weather conditions will persist across California today as red flag warnings have expired. In Northern California, gusty offshore winds from the northern foothills to the coast will continue, but will gradually start to dissipate as the day goes on and as we move into the afternoon. You can see here, taking a look at our temperatures today, not too bad. However, we are going to start to see temperatures start to actually warm back up. Look at this is by Sunday conditions, a little bit warmer, but not by much, but definitely warmer than we would normally see for this time of year. Taking a look at our wind gusts here, you can still see that down in Southern California and really along the Sierra, really all the way from above the I-80 area all the way down to the Southern Sierra will still be fairly gusty. We'll see gusts of 30 miles an hour. Mild Santa Ana winds continuing throughout much of the area, but again, the winds definitely dissipating now from what they were earlier in the week. Temperatures are still above normal across much of the state, which means our fire danger is still going to be higher than it normally would be for this time of year. So it is very important that you still remain prepared for a wildfire. So what should you be doing? Here's a few tips. One, create a wildfire action plan. You can get a full virtual downloadable version on our website Have a go bag, so in case a fire does break out, you have everything you need in one place and you can easily go. Assemble an emergency supply kit for any disaster. This is a really good tip. Fill out a family communications plan. Make sure you have contacts all ready to go so you know who to call if you're evacuated and you can quickly make contact with your family members. Maintain a list of those emergency contacts. Again, let people know where you are and that you're safe if a disaster does strike. And then last, another tip, identify escape routes and drive them. Sometimes these emergencies and fires occur in the middle of the night. You may be tired, disoriented, stressed. Practicing how you would get out of your subdivision, your home, your community, and having at least 2 ways of doing that in case one is blocked is always a good tip. For more ways on being prepared for wildfires and other emergencies, visit our website, readyforwildfire.org. Today is National First Responders Day, so we want to leave you with an opportunity for us to just say thank you and to show our appreciation to all the brave first responders, the firefighters, the paramedics, the police officers, and all those who have been responding to these emergencies. They have displayed an unbelievable amount of selflessness, not only during these challenging times, but really every day. So from all of us, thank you for what you do.